Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
Hey guys, this is Charlotte, and you're watching Going In Raw. Going In Raw. That sounds terrible.
What's up? It's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Boston, and you are watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notify bell next to it.
Yes.
And then over on the audio realm, leave us a rating, a review, or a comment, and that all helps boost the exposure of Going In Raw. Absolutely. And then, of course, we're also available on the Patreon.
Yes.
Patreon.com/Steve and Larson. We have a variety of reward tiers over there, starting at $1. One single dollar does go a long way. At $5, you get a ton of bonus content every day, Monday through Friday. So 5 days out of the 7 days per week, we offer up bonus content, including the award-winning Ask Steven Larson Friday or Saturday show, depending on when we upload it.
Pretty sure it hasn't won any awards.
And it's no wrestling talk allowed.
None.
It's just these two old idiots talking, answering questions about anything but wrestling.
Yeah.
The one thing that you're here for, we don't give.
We don't do.
But the other 4 bonus episodes,
That's
do.
That's just more of the stuff we
do it.
Generally do.
Anyways, I'm going to give some shout-outs to some patrons here, because whenever you put in on the Patreon, we give you a shout-out.
Yeah.
And we got a couple new patrons from over the weekends. So here we go. Toby Whittle, Pavan Sunkara, Ben Fowler, the Nitro Glycerin Child, Chad McCallum, Justin Kovac, and Sammy Garcia. Those are brand new patrons.
Thank you.
Just within the past half hour, Justin and Sammy.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
The hottest tag team on Patreon right now, Justin and Sammy.
Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah, we appreciate the support. How was your weekend, Larson?
It was all right. I started doing yoga because my back's been bugging.
Yeah, I need to do that, man.
Even after just doing it twice, it seemed to help.
Yeah, like you could do it once, and the next day you're like, ooh, I feel like $1 million.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but it
happened to me. Like I did it a couple weeks ago. I was like, man, I feel like crap right now. I did yoga the next day. I was like, man, I don't feel like crap right now.
Yeah.
And then I didn't do it that night, and the next day I did feel like crap. So there's some sort of correlation.
Well, I did it Saturday. Felt good. Did it yesterday. Different program. Didn't feel quite as good. But then last night I watched part of Zodiac.
Oh, that'll always make you feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down to the second to last episode on the Zodiac podcast. They start talking about it's actually a really fascinating episode, not necessarily about Zodiac, but they go into genealogy forensics.
Yeah, I got through that one.
They're all using. I'm totally for that, by the way. I understand privacy concerns, but man, if you're going to be like, oh, I want to find out what my genetics are, if going out there and finding some killers using 23andMe, I'm totally fine with that.
Well, like the database that's online, that's available, that's public record.
Yeah,
that's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Anyways.
But otherwise, I feel like law enforcement they need some sort of warrant to get into like 23andMe's stuff, because there's actually privacy statements you sign when you send your vial of spit into those.
Well, they need warrants if they're going to do something that's not public. That's established.
Yeah,
we know that.
Yeah.
But no. Apparently, Maryland's trying to make that a law where they can't even do the
public thing.
The public
I saw that.
thing.
Yeah. No, I already listened to that one. I'm an episode ahead of you.
So you're down to the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Right on. Anyways. I saw Shazam over the weekend. I have a review for that up right now at the Friendoville channel, youtube.com/Friendoville.
Yeah.
All my thoughts are in 19 minutes of me talking about Shazam in the DC universe.
Is it just verbal diarrhea?
Of course. That's all YouTube is.
Yeah.
There's nothing of substance here.
Yeah.
However, we should talk about some wrestling, some substantive wrestling talk.
All right.
So this morning, as I was eating my breakfast, WWE.com's Twitter account.
I got it through the WWE app. I got a notification through the app.
You got an alert through the app?
Yeah, that said this.
Well, they pushed out all their social media, confirmed Vince McMahon has decided the main event of WrestleMania 35 will be for the Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey, the champion, versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte, a triple threat extravaganza.
Not a huge surprise, but
and it's going to close out the show.
Not a huge surprise, totally expected, but still pretty cool.
Well, the thing is, you can never, you never know with Vince. Yeah, it made all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Makes total sense. But you never know with Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I know.
Sometimes he can get fascinated with other things like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, or in other years, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so
or dating
happens.
back like 5 years ago, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
So,
or even back almost a decade ago, Brock Lesnar. More than a decade ago, sorry.
Back in 2002, Brock Lesnar.
17 years ago, almost 2 decades ago. Well, he was the next big thing. He's the new big thing, too.
Yeah, he's always a big thing. So anyways, that's cool. I know some people are obsessed with they talk about, I guess this is, what do you think about this? The build, has it been bungled? Has it been botched?
I won't go so far as to say bungled or botched, but it hasn't done anybody, save for maybe Ronda Rousey, and that's just because of the heel turn, necessarily any favors. Becky was the hottest star in WWE up until the Rumble. Since then, since winning the Rumble, seems like she lost maybe a little momentum. We talked about this quite a bit in the last few episodes of Matt Chat, and I thought it seemed like we were kind of on the same page. That, I was thinking about this morning because I saw your tweet. Looks like stoking the fires of controversy maybe a little bit.
Because no, that was aimed at Adam Mayhem.
Oh, all right.
I love him so much, but he came onto my Twitter feed last night and
I saw that.
He literally said, what do I always do to like sort of poke fun at you? I always say that you're an I told you so guy.
Yeah.
You never want to be an I told you so guy. Here's the thing. You never want to be an I told you so guy. And he literally hashtag
I told you
his
so.
affront to me, hashtag I told you
He
so.
seems comfortable being an I told you so guy.
He does. Oh, wow.
Anyways, I lost my. I had an idea.
Good. I like your ideas.
Because the creative, this match being the main event, once it seemed like the ball was rolling in that direction, seemed to be a no-brainer because you have your top mainstream star in Ronda Rousey taking on arguably the hottest wrestler in the company, Becky Lynch. You had Charlotte Flair to there. It seems like the no-brainer main event from a marketing standpoint. That being said, creative hasn't been the best. Convoluted, messy, all sorts of unnecessary twists and turns. This is what I thought this morning. Dig this.
All right.
So, what?
You know it's going to be good when you say dig this.
So, Becky wins the Rumble. She doesn't do that bogus knee thing.
Okay.
No fake knee injury.
Haven't been huge on the knee thing.
Yeah, it's been kind of lame.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
She wins. The next night on Raw, she goes out and says, "Ronda, I want you." Just kind of how it played out, except no knee injury. And so Ronda, instead of being like, all right, she viciously attacks Becky. Heel turn happens then, and injures her arm. Like you can say, kayfabe, break her arm.
Yeah, okay.
Just lays her out. And
Yeah.
she can drop promo saying, "Oh, I came here, hottest thing, Ronda that is, to elevate the women's division. I've given everything I had to this business the year I've been here, and all of you people do is chant Becky's name." Sort of like what she did a couple months later.
This was Okay, I'll just interject this really quick, but I'm not gonna poo-poo on your fantasy book because I like it. Do you think that would have been possible? Because I don't think Ronda going heel was even in their heads until the reaction she got was firmly anti-Ronda, which was months later.
No, it wasn't, because it's Survivor Series, they were booing her after Charlotte beat the heck out of her. She was walking up the ramp, and she had that face, so she was utterly dejected.
Yeah, but
she
it took
cheering.
a little bit more time for them to actually turn her heel. That was in
yeah,
November.
I know.
Yeah.
But from November to the end of January, there is momentum building in that direction. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yeah, but they were kind of waffling. I feel like they were trying to fight against it, and then eventually they were let's just have her go full
That's
heel.
what I'm saying. Don't fight against it. Just do it in January, end of January. That's my point.
Okay.
Have her turn heel earlier. Break Becky's arm, and in response to Becky's arm being broken, WWE is like, well, we gotta have a replacement because Becky can't be in the match.
Yeah.
Enter Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of have the beats revolving on the knee injury kind of follow, where Becky, despite having her arm injured, you don't say broken because that seems extreme, saying, no, I would still want to be in this match. You can still have her playing mind games as Ronda eventually getting her back in the match, blah, blah, blah. Like the general stuff. Just get rid of the whole Vince stuff because that seemed unnecessary for the Becky feud. Get rid of the suspension. Just keep it on Ronda turning heel, injuring Becky, jeopardizing the match.
Yeah.
That's a ton of heat on Ronda right away.
Here's what I like about your scenario, but then I'm going to kind of counter with my own thoughts on it because I was thinking about this morning too, and I was doing a little bit of research on it. I think it'd make for an interesting count out. Here's one thing that I like about your scenario. Mm-hmm. The cast on an arm looks way cooler than somebody hobbling around on a knee.
Yeah.
And also it feeds into the armbar story.
Exactly.
But I don't know. What's the worst injury? I know you're more of the doctor than I am. What's the worst injury you can have on an arm that gets cleared up by the time between like the Rumble and Mania?
That is about 3 months.
3 months.
2.5 months. I mean, you hypothetically maybe have a small fracture in one of the bones in your arm and still be cleared.
I think Chelsea Green said she broke her wrist.
She had to have surgery though.
But I thought she said she was going to be back within like 6 weeks or something. That
might be when she gets the cast off, but then you can't rehab and all that stuff.
Anyways, but I like the idea of a cast.
If you take a break out of the situation, hypothetically, you can say, well, if there's some sort of ligament or tendon damage in the elbow, like a pitcher in baseball, they get Tommy John surgeries because they rip a ligament in their elbow. Yeah. And so because they're pitchers, they have to get a piece of ligament replaced. So it takes like more than a year. But for, a wrestler, you can say something like, well, Ronda didn't break her arm. She tore a ligament. Because of that, she's not medically cleared. But you can put a brace on there and say that she can fight through it.
So getting away from that, I do think that regardless of the creative, well, let me ask you this, because I kind of feel like this is what's sort of happened. Here's the thing. Number one, there's no angle. And I know Kofi is kind of a close second, but kind of not really because it's a very recent thing. Nobody's talked about this. Nobody's talked about any other angle more than this since the Rumble. This has been the most talked about. Every time, and Becky Lynch has been making some sort of media rounds lately. She was at a Golden State Warriors game wearing a Warriors jersey where she cut on TV a really fun Ronnie promo. She was on Twitter the other day saying that the company had told her to dial it down because Ronda was getting upset. Do you believe that? Do you think that's true?
I mean,
I think it's in the realm of possibility.
It's in the realm of possibility, but also that story been making the rounds. That's the case. So she can just be kind of piggybacking on that. Yeah, to get more heat.
That could be. It also, given that several sources had said that, or several outlets had, that Ronda was legit upset with that stuff. I kind of believe, because when we were first talking about that, we literally said that. We said, okay, if that's the case, if that's actually the case, then the company will probably tell Becky Lynch, you need to cool it. Yeah. And what happened? She cooled it. Yeah. Like she had to. I wonder if they cooled down the creative to satiate Ronda.
Oh, that's a possibility. I thought about that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Man, that'd be a bummer.
That would be a huge bummer because
especially if Ronda's considering taking a break.
But also, that's the one thing that I've learned from making certain statements and then having people come back and say, no, actually, Steve, she has this history of A, B, and C, is that she does seem to have kind of a fragile ego. I kind of knew that back in the UFC when she would, when she made a big huff about her losses, but I never really watched any of her press conferences or listened to anything Misha Tate had to say. I knew that she lost a couple times in brutal fashion and then walked away because when you lose in brutal fashion, the sport has probably passed you by.
Yeah, the turnover. That's what you do. Also, the turnover rate in UFC is so enormously high that your time on top, regardless of weight division, seemingly is pretty short.
Yeah, there's only a few special people out there who can withstand.
You got like your George St. Pierre, who's on top for a decade and stuff
Anderson
like that.
Silva until and he literally got bored. and fooled around in that one match against
Chris Weidman.
Weidman,
yeah.
And
then lost, and after that broke his leg.
Yeah, broke his leg. Oh God, that was rough. So it does kind of make me wonder if the creative is because Ronda Rousey's ego was just too fragile to handle it. I would hate for that to be the case.
I guess it would make sense because they seem to be steering clear of a whole lot of interaction between Becky and Ronda the last few weeks.
I know.
Gosh, that's a bummer.
But I do think, regardless of that, this is the biggest. This has the biggest fight feel. Then I went back and I thought this would be kind of an interesting count out because I don't have all the research done. I was just sort of doing some very basic research. All of the great builds of the past. Let's take the probably the best WrestleMania in the past 10 years. Let's say 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
What's the one big build moment we remember from that?
It's the all the fans occupied the ring.
What else do you remember from that build?
When he turned face on the Wyatt family.
Yeah, that was part of that build. But that was kind of a very separate thing. That was him and the Wyatt family.
Yeah, I know, but it was all part of his build to.
Yeah, it was his build of he's getting to become the hottest thing. But week to week, I don't remember. And granted, I just have a terrible memory. I was looking at some of the Stone Cold Shawn Michaels build. The first 2 weeks, people thought it was going to be Stone Cold versus Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
The week after that, and then Shawn Michaels campaigning for it to be Austin versus Tyson because he didn't want to lose his title.
Yeah.
At one point, Austin stole the real title belt and replaced it in Shawn Michaels' bag with a toy belt, which is stupid and silly, but is probably vastly entertaining because of Stone Cold.
Yeah.
I guess the point is the things that I remember from the classic matches of WrestleMania.
Well, of course.
The classic moments in WrestleMania history
during the
boiled down to one moment during the build.
Well, you can say then when Stone Cold drove the beer truck in during his feud with The Rock, I think leading up to WrestleMania 15.
Which was one big, and it's funny because if you look at what's the was it 17 that had it was 17 that had the Limp Bizkit My Way or the Highway. If you look at that actual video package, they reuse a lot of the same footage from them smashing beer cans. they do. I'm not sure. I think I guess the main point I'm driving home is the build can kind of be like in terms of week to week, every week something happening. Could be a bit on the overrated side.
Oh, it can
be. You need
but
big moments and big beats for sure, absolutely.
But
and maybe we've been lacking that.
Yeah, I think we have, but also
But there's been some of them. There's been Charlotte's big beatdown of Ronda Rousey
Survivor Series.
At Survivor Series.
I'm not saying there hasn't been any build. There
Becky
has been
winning the Rumble after tapping out to Asuka.
I think the issue has been I said this I don't know last week at some point that every roadblock that's been put in Kofi's way has built his momentum, and the same can't be said for Becky. I think a lot of the roadblocks that were put in her way, especially the injury angle, has kind of put the brakes a little bit on her momentum.
But let me ask you this, and I don't disagree.
And I think the momentum factor, I'm not talking about necessarily the narrative build to it. I think it's about people's enthusiasm for it, because there's a lot of tweets this morning with the announcement like, oh, this is great, well-deserved, history-making. Too bad the creative hasn't been that great.
Yeah, I know. I think that there's, and look, I know I might get some comments. Oh, Steve, you're trying to be on WWE's payroll. I wish I was. That'd be great. I'd take that money in a second. But I'm not. I think that sometimes people need to temper their expectations a little bit. The thing about Kofi is that they've had this literally from one pay-per-view to the next. Like this started at that, what was it? Elimination Chamber.
Elimination Chamber, yeah.
And so they've had to basically speed through a build and hit all those story beats because they've had a matter of weeks as opposed to a matter of months.
Yeah.
And so that story build has had to come very quickly. And so you get the sense of urgency and you get this really, really awesome momentum with Kofi Kingston. With Becky, this has been playing out since basically
SummerSlam.
Since SummerSlam. So you've had a longer time. So I don't know. I think that by the time we get to it, and still I think Becky, maybe she's lost some momentum, but she's still the hottest thing in the WWE. Everybody pays attention to her the most. She's the number one merch seller right now.
Yeah.
She just released that Funko Pop, and that was a big deal.
I mean, she's staying on top based on the power of her personality more than anything.
Which is all that matters. Which is what matters. Stone Cold did the same thing. He stayed on top due to the power of his personality.
It's just I think people were excited. Maybe it's the expectations situation where people saw this on the horizon, that being this match main eventing WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Expectations were high because it seemed like the story was just there to be told and based on all sorts of unnecessary diversions, twists and turns that again were completely unnecessary. Becky coming out hobbling on a fake injury week after week after week. It just wasn't terribly exciting.
Yeah.
And granted, people really like Becky. I like Becky a lot. I'm really happy this match is main eventing WrestleMania. I'm really happy based on what I think might happen. She'll probably win. And if she does win, then a lot of people are going to look past the build and say, well, the end is what we wanted. So whatever. But just in terms of them really hyping up excitement for this match, if they just pared things down creatively and really kept the focus on the competitors and not interject McMahon's when it's not necessary, I just feel like people and fans and maybe the press would be a heck of a lot more excited about it. And it wouldn't have been such a conversation about what is going to main event WrestleMania. It would have been plainly obvious that this is the hottest story going into Mania. And it could have generated a ton of buzz for the company, and just feel like it was a bit mishandled in that respect.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's done all those things. I think it's generated a bunch of buzz. I think they announced it this morning, and that's what everybody's talking about. But I agree. I think that there hasn't been. I think we're still lacking that one definitive moment because we've had this Ronda heel thing for like couple weeks now.
And she's had more interaction with Dana Brooke than she has with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Turn heel. Imagine it. Like I said, if the night after the Rumble they had done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. If they had turned Ronda heel on Becky the night after the Rumble, that would have been a moment.
But I still do wonder if that's because.
Oh yeah, they had no idea what they wanted to do with it.
If they're I think that they've done this. They've gone this direction to to satiate Ronda Rousey, and I do think that there's an element to that.
There could be. There'd be a bummer.
I think there's some evidence to that.
That'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we continue, here's a word from our sponsor for today's show, Robinhood.
Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free.
While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level.
The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data, and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular.
With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest.
Robinhood is giving listeners of Going in Raw a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at goinginraw.robinhood.com, and thank you to Robinhood for sponsoring Going in Raw. It really does help the show if you check it out.
Yes.
I need to get back on. Ooh, yeah. I'm doing pretty
look
good.
at that.
I was doing a little bit of research because I really like the Robinhood app now. I've been doing a little bit of research on it, and there's some cloud stocks that I'm interested in because everything's about the cloud these days.
Yeah,
Larson,
I guess so.
Cloud security, that's the future, man.
Until your cloud storage gets hacked and then your stock nosedives.
Well, that's why I need to look into the best cloud security.
There you go.
That's what you need, cloud security. Yeah. Desalination. Desalination. You don't want to salt things up. You want to desalt them.
You want to take the salt out of it. Well, for drinking water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good stuff. No, it's a really cool app. I've gotten the hang of it, and yeah, it's fun. It's you treat it like a game, kind of. Just
There's real money on the line.
but actual money in it.
Actual money. So, Steve, you're always a huge Alberto Del Rio fan, right?
Man, I had his theme on my phone.
You did for the longest time.
I was the hugest fan of that.
You really
guy.
were.
I still am. I think he's great. Have you ever seen his series of Periscope videos?
I'm familiar with them,
He's
yeah.
shooting on. That guy tells it like it is, man.
How about that? Anyways.
No, I don't like him at all.
Oh, all right. So I guess Del Rio spoke to Super Lucha at some point last week, and he seemed to indicate in that interview that he had patched up his relationship with WWE and that the door was open to a potential return, although he didn't seem to indicate that any was on the horizon. Well, Fightful Sean Ross Sapp is reporting now, quote, I spoke to multiple sources within WWE that seem to disagree from a talent standpoint.
Yeah.
Del Rio has made a wealth of poor impressions on any number of wrestlers, staff, and management in WWE, and his no-show issues last year aren't lost on the company either. The talent we spoke to didn't state that there was any bad blood, just mainly bad impressions that Del Rio hasn't exactly worked hard to repair beyond those who could provide him with paychecks.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a problem.
You know what? It's always really... Remember we went to that big-time wrestling show?
I do. It was fun.
The main event was Del Rio versus Moose.
Yeah, man.
Fun match.
Yeah.
And Del Rio showed like all this personality we had never seen in WWE or on Impact Television.
It's the Del Rio theory we developed.
Yeah, that like in person he's really personable
and very
charismatic
charming.
and charming.
Yeah.
And then you put a camera on him, and like that just evaporates.
It
dithers away.
It is kind of funny. We've talked about this a little bit recently, especially when we were talking about like best worst wrestlers and worst best wrestlers and the it factor, the charisma thing.
Yeah.
You put a camera on somebody, so you go up to somebody and you're like, man, that guy is. It's kind of like it's the same thing probably with this is like a side analogy, but my problem with the movie Solo, the lead actor there, I feel like if I saw him in person, probably like a very charming person, probably has all the charisma in the world.
Yeah.
Put a camera on him and I just don't see it. It's just something doesn't translate through the lens. Del Rio, something doesn't translate through the lens, but you see him in person and yeah, he's a very charming guy.
It makes sense.
It does, yeah. Because you can talk to the people in charge. You're not talking to them through a camera, and you can be like, "Hola."
Well, I mean, even watching that performance and the promo he cut afterwards, which was very impassioned, even if it didn't come to fruition. Like if he had cut that same promo on an Impact taping, it wouldn't have had the same impact,
Right.
so to say.
Yeah, no, I agree.
There's just something about the energy he presents when you're in the building. Or maybe it's just the energy he presents at a show where he doesn't think anybody is really watching.
I wonder how much of it.
Although Scott D'Amore was there, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe this isn't. I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. It's funny because they were like so high on him, but even apparently with WWE, like WWE's Vince is so forgiving. But there's only so many.
Well, he thinks so long as you can help him make money.
Yeah, and I'm just not sure that Alberto.
They've already tried twise with.
They've tried a couple times with him, and it just doesn't work.
It just hasn't worked.
And then on top of that, it'd be one thing if I wonder this. If he was a super nice guy, if every time he left the company, he was very respectful and cool and didn't get on Periscope and make a jerk of himself, would they be more open? Probably, because is this about burning bridges, or is this about, man, I don't know. We never really saw, you never really panned out for us in the value proposition.
I mean, the way I read this from Sean Ross Sapp, I don't know so much about burning bridges per se. They just see how he conducts himself as a professional.
Yeah.
And I guess they just don't want that in their company anymore.
Yeah.
That's how I read it. It wasn't like that the relationship is beyond repair. Maybe at this point he's apologized for his behavior and they've accepted that apology, but it doesn't mean they're willing to welcome him back per se based on what history has told them about how he conducts himself.
You're in very special company when the WWE doesn't want to hire you because like lately they've been trying to hire everybody.
Yeah, I know.
And keep them. Maybe they just think, hey, let's not hire him and All Elite will snatch him up.
No, I think I think the evidence is out there that whatever talents that Del Rio possesses, he doesn't move the needle.
I don't think he does. I mean, I think that's kind of obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't see why All Elite would want to deal with that headache.
Here's
potential
where
headache.
You know where I'd actually like to see Del Rio, AAA.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'd be an interesting addition, kind of like how old Jeff Jarrett is there.
Mm-hmm.
Alberto Del Rio in AAA, that could be interesting because you have a very traditional, very good-looking, dapper wrestling guy, and then you've got all this complete and total weirdness around him. A bunch of guys who are built like me.
He was in AAA. 2014, 2015. I guess.
Oh, and just last year too.
Yeah, and that's where he got to start with AAA.
Well, boom, there we go.
So maybe we'll see him
That's
there
where
again.
he needs to go. I'll watch him on.
Oh, he was supposed to be
Triple
at Triple Mania last year.
Really? Did he no-show it? During a press conference, AAA didn't mention him. I think I kind of remember
he had
that.
a dispute with money, I think, and they couldn't find an opponent for him.
He was making a ton in WWE.
Yeah, I know.
Like at that point, are you pricing yourself out of certain places?
Yeah, probably.
You need to dial it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a different landscape these days.
It really is.
And burning bridges is going to cost you money.
Yep. Sean Ross Sapp also points out, quote, while WWE doesn't seem to have any firm plans for Paige's future, they wouldn't risk alienating her or making her uncomfortable to bring in Del Rio for any amount of time.
Yeah.
He also adds, this isn't a situation in which Paige or anyone else has actively petitioned for Del Rio to not be brought back, but more of a situation of the negative possibilities outweighing the positive possibilities.
That's completely. It was not that long ago when he was running her down on his social media also.
Yeah.
So no, man, they just did a big movie with her that completely outperformed expectations.
Yeah.
I think what was his budget like?
$10 million, something like that. It wasn't much.
I think it was 8 or something like that. It's made like 22 or something at the box office, which is it's making a lot of money back.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to do really, really well on digital.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you don't want to be doing that. Like he was not good for her.
No.
It was a bad situation.
Yes.
And now she seems like she's in a happy spot.
Yeah, much happier.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't bring anything to the product on television, then there's really no reason to do it.
I did have to unfollow her on Twitter though, sadly.
Why?
She here's the thing. The intention is awesome and it's great.
Is this animal stuff?
Yeah. I don't want to hear about animals. Like, I know she's bringing awareness to it. Like, hey, let's capture whoever did this. I didn't read it, but it was like, oh, I can't believe this. I can't deal with that. Like, I had to unfollow because she retweeted a thing from, I don't know, a news story about somebody who did something bad to a dog. And I'm like, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're using your platform to try to get justice for these animals. I don't want to hear about bad things happening to animals.
All right.
Can't do that. That's why I think I unfollowed her on Instagram too, because one time she posted something that I don't know. I was like, oh, no. No.
Just scroll past it.
But it might show up again.
You don't have to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I do. Like, if I catch half an image in my head, it's just burned in there. My little furry babies, I love them so much. I want to get 10 more dogs. That'd probably be really bad.
It would be bad. It's too many animals. Unless you got a farm or something, that's too many animals.
I can only do so much.
Yeah.
I can only do so much.
I mean, there's only so much attention and time you have to care for these animals.
This is true.
And
yeah.
I think, I don't know, 3 might be a maximum.
What is this Dean has done with WWE? I didn't see this.
Yeah, I was on Cage Side Seats. They have a quick little sentence about Dean's future in WWE. Quote, Dean Ambrose is not expected to appear on television going forward and likely will not work WrestleMania 35 either.
Oh, no.
There goes my prediction for the Roman Reigns, finish the Roman Reigns match.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Is he just going to win straight up clean? He has to now, right?
That'd be a bummer.
He has to. I have to sit down and write down all these matches and figure out who can lose because all the good guys are going to win.
It seems that way.
Although I still think they can kick Seth Brock down the line to Saudi Arabia.
Entirely possible. I don't know. I don't know.
Is Seth Brock going to be weird? Here's the thing: we've had 2 Brock Lesnar types of matches in the last couple of years. We've had stellar ones, and they're trying to make this more of a parallel with the really good matches, like Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
AJ
that was
Finn.
Seth did
it's the entire story here.
His whole promo about that. Yeah.
But because it's for the title and it's a WrestleMania, are we gonna get the Roman Reigns type match?
This
is all weird.
If early on it seems like it's going to be heading in that direction, it's because Brock is winning. If it starts out with Brock dropping Seth with an F5, then Brock's probably going to win.
Yeah. I remember how the Daniel Bryan match started. It was great. It was Daniel Bryan running around the ring.
And then he got beat up for about 5 minutes straight.
It was so uncomfortable.
Until he managed to kick Brock in the head.
It was that was a killer match.
It was really
we
good.
were so uncomfortable.
Well, we were on edge because every time he'd take a German suplex, we're like,
man.
concussion.
Yeah.
And
Boy,
he was holding his head the whole time.
How did the Finn match start?
Finn ran around.
Yeah.
He just evaded him for a good 3 minutes and got a lot of offense in.
What about the AJ match?
Kind of started out like Daniel Bryan one,
Okay,
where
all
AJ was getting beat up a bit.
So if Seth is able to evade early.
But here's the thing, though, is Finn, of those 3 matches, the Finn one was the shortest.
Yeah.
Because Finn managed to drive Lesnar abdomen first into the corner.
Yeah.
And then damage his innards.
Diverticulitis.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fun to know.
I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it, though. I just wonder if it's going to be weird or good. Because there's no other scenario.
Or, I doubt with Seth involved, it would be uninspired, which is the other avenue.
Like a Dean Ambrose Brock Lesnar match?
Uh-huh.
No, because I think Brock really likes that. That only happens when we know Brock doesn't.
Or Brock Braun won.
I could have told you from the get. Brock does not like Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
I could have told you that from the get.
I'm not sure he's too keen on Braun Strowman either.
I don't think he likes Braun either. I don't.
Based on that first match at No Mercy, which was awful.
Yeah.
And their second one, which I didn't watch, Crown Jewel, which just involved Brock F5ing him all over the place.
Yeah, I might have to go back and watch that one for laughs.
The one at No Mercy was bad. Bad.
Which is the one, wasn't the triple threat with Kane?
That's the Rumble a couple years ago.
Where Brock punched Braun in the face.
Mm-hmm. Almost knocked him out.
Man,
because Braun was a bit stiff with the knee.
God, can you imagine? I really wish Braun would have got knocked out at that point. Because we've never seen that before.
Well, and the thing is, we probably never see Braun again after that. That would have completely destroyed. That's character assassination right there.
That's character assassination.
Say what Bret Hart will about
Vince
trying to assassinate his character. Braun or Brock with one punch could have completely assassinated Braun's character.
Speaking of Bret Hart and character assassination, the opposite is happening. It was just announced right before we went on the air that the Hart Foundation,
the original Hart Foundation, Bret and the Anvil, Jim Neidhart, yes,
are going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. So now we've got Bret 2-time, Booker T 2-time, Ric Flair 2-time,
and Shawn Michaels
2-time.
Yes.
That's a good Mount Rushmore right there.
That's pretty good.
That's a good Mount Rushmore.
That's pretty good.
How about this? Next year we have China be the next 2-time.
That'd be cool.
I think that's a good one.
That'd be cool.
That's good stuff.
I'd be on board with that.
Me too.
But before we continue, here's a word from a sponsor of today's show, Harry's. Steve, let me ask you something. What do you love most about shaving with Harry's?
Harry's is easily the most comfortable razor I've used to clean up the patchy facial hair that grows on this face of mine, Larson. See, Harry's founders were tired of ponying up big money for razors that were overpriced and overdesigned. They fixed that by combining a simple, clean design with quality, durable blades at a fair price.
Yep, Harry's replacement cartridges are just $2 each, which is likely one reason they received over 20,000 five-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and All Harry's blades come with a 100% quality guarantee, so if you don't love your shave, let them know, and they'll give you a full refund.
And right now, listeners of Going In Raw can get a $13 value trial set that comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, including a weighted ergonomic handle, a 5-blade razor with lubricating strip and trimmer blade, rich lathering shave gel, and a travel blade cover by going to harrys.com/GIR.
Join the 10 million who have tried Harry's. Claim your trial offer by going to harrys.com/GIR.
And thank you to Harry's for sponsoring today's show. And you're really helping out Going In Raw when you go to harrys.com/GIR to redeem your offer and let Harry's know that we sent you to help support the show. I also hate leaving the house. And if I'm like, oh man, I got all this weird dirt on my face called facial hair that the good Lord has blessed me with, now I gotta leave so I don't look like an idiot on the show tomorrow. I don't have to do that because they just send it straight to the house.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
It's fantastic. So good stuff. What is this about Kurt Angle and John Cena having been confirmed?
Well,
for
it's
a
not
match?
quite confirmed. This is from
I
Raja.com.
thought, whoa, I thought Kurt Angle was gonna face Baron Corbin.
Well, I think he still will in some
Have you seen
capacity.
that awesome poster that Baron?
Yeah, that
Dave
was
loved
great.
To? One more loss.
That was great.
It's a very dramatic WrestleMania.
Well, it's like Corbin's head in the background. Like that,
there's
screaming.
There's like a giant screaming Corbin, and Corbin like Instagrammed it or put it out in a photo, whatever. And then there's like 2 other shots of Corbin like handling Angle.
Yeah.
And then there's like a little Kurt Angle. It's very dramatic, very well done.
Yeah, it's very well done.
It's like WrestleMania 35, the match everybody wants, and then it says like one more loss.
One more loss. It's great. It's really well
awesome.
done. This is from Raja.com. Quote, as of this weekend, Angle versus Corbin was still the planned match. Kurt and others backstage lobbied for Cena, and this is just what I'm perceiving, but seems WWE thinks the negative response is great for Corbin. Well, it's actual heat. Still 2 weeks left for minds to change. Tell you, just have Angle come out there and squash Corbin and have Cena come down afterward and say, let's put on the real match now.
Well, yeah, and then
That way you get your build, you get your heat on Corbin. He's humiliated. Not the first time that's happened. And then have Cena come out and give people what they want.
crowd will pop massive for it. It'll be a huge, huge moment.
Yeah.
You can have who wins that match? Cena Angle.
Cena.
Cena goes over, right? Really? Right?
Yeah. Because Kurt beat him when Kurt had his open
That's
challenge.
right. So a true passing of the torch, and then John Cena can hopefully move on in his wrestling career and
Yes.
maybe accomplish some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole Corbin thing. I think it has been great for Corbin.
Yeah.
I think.
If nothing else, if he was any way involved in designing that poster,
Oh man,
that's a huge W for Baron Corbin right
yeah.
there.
I don't know. Whoever designed that, they get a gold star for that.
Heck
one.
yeah, man.
But no, I hope they milk the crap out of that. Angle's got. I know this is like an early SmackDown preview. He's got a match against AJ Styles on SmackDown.
He has a match tonight on Raw, too. We'll get to it on Raw preview, not against an unnamed opponent, hopefully Shelton Benjamin.
Oh, it's got to be Shelton.
I hope so.
It's got to be Shelton.
I hope so.
Well, I love this. I really do love this Kurt Angle farewell tour. Mm-hmm. I think all the people that all the fans out there, oh, why can't it be this person? Why can't it be that person? This is what we're getting in the lead up. And I love it. Like, oh, what about AJ Styles? We're getting that. That's awesome.
I know, it's pretty great.
And then the capper's got to be Cena. That's what makes
Yeah,
sense.
it kind of feels like that has to be the case.
Corbin and Cena. I think that'd be great.
That would be great. In other news, a couple weeks ago, Brie Bella was on Total Bellas and said that she was done wrestling. Done. This week's episode, her sister, Nikki Bella, said the same thing. Tired of being on the road. Tired of the road schedule. Done wrestling. So guess what they're doing now? Get some of that sweet podcast money. They got a podcast.
Oh, they're going to do a podcast?
Bella's podcast.
God.
Hope JJ's on there.
Yeah, I kind of want just a day-to-day JJ.
I want a JJ, John Cena, Daniel Bryan podcast. Give me that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Give me that.
Him trying to relate to them when they're talking about their epic like wrestling moments.
I know.
He's like, yeah, I had a moment like that. Like Daniel Bryan's like, yeah, and then they put me in the main event of WrestleMania 30, and I won all those titles. And then JJ's like, yeah, I went to Subway the other day, and they gave me extra meat for free. And then silence.
Moving on.
Exactly. Oh man, we have a sponsor for today's show, Harry's. Oh man.
But anyways, I will say this though, especially like the last couple of years, Nikki seemed like she improved quite a bit in the ring, so she put on some fun matches. Her match against Ronda wasn't bad.
The Evolution thing was fine.
Yeah.
People like them, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're evidently savvy businesswomen because they've spawned numerous business empires for themselves.
Yeah.
That will take care of their post-wrestling future, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
So
I like Daniel Bryan quite a bit.
they've parlayed their wrestling abilities into a fortune that was probably unattainable as strictly a wrestler.
Yeah.
So good for them.
Yeah, good for them. Hopefully their podcast does well.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what they're going to cover on their podcast. Like wrestling news? Is it going to be like a Going In Raw, but like with the Bellas?
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
We should find out.
Going In Bellas. That's probably not a good title for.
Let's talk about G1 Supercard because
right.
card is set after the.
No, screw that, man. I'm done with New Japan. I lost my Discord predictions.
Ishii. I thought Ishii was going to win.
Yeah, okay, Naito, Kota Ibushi. That didn't happen, did it either?
No, I didn't say it. I know it was
I
going to happen.
guarantee whoever wins that first
Yeah, I was
round
wrong.
match
I was totally wrong.
is going to go on.
I was totally
and
wrong. You
main
know why?
event this,
You know why I
and
thought
do
that?
this.
I thought Kota Ibushi was going to win it because I had read that Jay White was just getting Kenny Omega's booking, and so if they're going to do Kenny and Kota at Madison Square Garden for the title, would have made a ton of sense.
They're really going to job out Okada, this Jay White kid again.
You know what? Know what they haven't done? Jay White mentioned some mole and chaos. They've never revealed the identity of said mole.
Yeah.
They don't usually do run-ins and stuff for New Japan matches unless it's a Bullet Club match.
Yeah.
But they could in this scenario if it, like, say it's Will Ospreay runs in and betrays Okada. Because Okada beat Ospreay in their match in the tournament, and Ospreay was, like, crying afterwards. And they put the picture up with the two of them and Rocky Romero saying, like, friends or brothers or something like that.
Are they actually, so I know Ospreay, were they talking Ospreay versus Cobb?
That's happening, yeah.
Is that title? Like
Yeah.
whoever takes the title takes the other guy's title?
I guess so, yeah.
See, that could be huge if Ospreay was revealed to be. Have they, I don't know. Karen probably knows this because she pays very close attention to New Japan. Have they mentioned the mole thing since then?
I don't know. I'm not, because it's just a build up to Wrestle Kingdom they mentioned.
I know we've probably got to have some chatters here in our live stream that might
Here,
know.
I'll review the card, and then if anybody mentions it, we can talk about it.
Let me see. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to whoever won predictions. I forgot who
All
it
right.
was, but I can find it pretty easy.
Main event is going to be Jay White versus Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. It's going to be a heck of a match. Then we have a ladder match for the Ring of Honor title with champion Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, and Marty Scurll, who was just in Lodi yesterday.
He was at the GrapeCon.
Yeah, it's been an hour away. I only found out.
They gave him an interview on Good Day Sacramento.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No.
Oh, all
I
right.
was on very low, and I assumed that they didn't ask him any questions that I cared about because it's Good Day Sacramento.
all right.
I love Good Day Sacramento. I just
Yeah.
don't think that they are in tune with New Japan
Probably
wrestling.
not. Probably not.
The way we are.
If I had known he was going to be there before Saturday, I might have thought about going, but by that point it was too late. We have Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi for the IWGP Intercontinental title. That'll be great. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Tanahashi, Go Ace for the British Heavyweight Championship. That's going to be great. Then you got a four-way for both the IWGP and the Ring of Honor tag titles. You got Guerrillas of Destiny, PCO and Brody King, the Briscoes, and Evil and Sonata all in one match. That's going to be a heck of a match.
So I think the winner ended up being. It could be wrong. Is it K Realm? Did K Realm
This
win?
is rank 1.
Ranking 1?
Points 48.
Right there. Is that it?
Looks like it.
K Realm.
And then for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, you got the champion, Taiji Ishimori, taking on Dragon Lee and Bandito. That's going to be great. Bully Ray's got a New York Street Fight Open Challenge.
K Realm, yeah. Matt Hurlbert. Congratulations.
And then you got Kelly Klein versus Mayu Iwatani for the Women of Honor title.
Oh, that's cool.
Dalton Castle versus Rush. And then Will Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb, title versus title.
That's a killer card.
It's a stacked card.
That is a killer
It
card.
is a stacked card.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wrestling to watch that weekend. Friday, TakeOver. Saturday, this. Sunday, Mania.
And more importantly, the Hall of Fame ceremony. No inductors this year.
That's probably smart because it keeps it brisk.
Yeah, I don't really usually watch that anyways because, but if I did watch, it'd be for some of the, I don't really care about any of it, to be honest with you.
We watched that one year when you were in Orlando. That's the only Hall of Fame
Scott
ceremony I've ever watched.
Speech was really
That
good
was really
that one
good.
year.
That was really good. I like watching the highlights of the speeches. I don't usually watch the speeches, though.
Yeah. I mean, DX, that'll be good this year. To see what they say about China.
Yeah,
that'll
that's
be
kind
good.
of the most important thing.
So according to Jimmy Thomas here in the Discord, they have not mentioned the mole.
All right.
So
Maybe they
that
dropped
might
it.
be underwhelming.
Yeah, then maybe they just dropped that whole thing.
That being said, Will Ospreay coming out in Sport and Bullet Club stuff, and both those titles if he beats Cobb, which I'm still kind of up in the air on.
Yeah.
Could be really cool.
Pretty
that
huge.
Could be a really great
Pretty
moment.
huge. Pretty
But on
huge.
the other hand, does Jay White need any of that? He handled Okada.
At Wrestle Kingdom. But Okada dominated that match for the
He
majority
dominated
of it.
that match, but then it took like one
Blade Runner, yeah.
one Blade Runner, and then it was done.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
I guess the possibility exists that they put that belt back in Okada. Can't go wrong with that. He is the best.
Well, yeah, he is the best. So I don't know, man.
I don't know either. We want to do a Raw preview.
Of course.
All right.
I'll kick it off.
All right.
Fight or flight. Wow, I like these titles for these. These are good. Fight or flight. It seemed for a while like Drew McIntyre's claim to have single-handedly broken the Shield was just posturing, but the Scottish psychopath has now beaten 2 of the last 3 Hounds of Justice and left the third, Roman Reigns, in such a heap he couldn't make last week's show. McIntyre leveled an official WrestleMania challenge at the Big Dog in the hopes of completing the trifecta, and while Reigns has yet to address the challenge, the clock is ticking. Now the former Universal Champion, who only just returned to the ring after his battle with leukemia, finds himself with a poignant decision. A poignant decision? Really? That's interesting. Accept the challenge and defend his brother's legacy, or decline and all but concede that someone else runs his yard. He should decline. Drew's scary.
Nah, I'm good.
Nah, bro, I'm good. Congratulations on you dismantled the Shield.
It's like
much respect.
You dismantled the Shield. Guess what your reward is? You get Mania night off.
How about you and I, Drew? We have a beer drinking contest.
Yeah.
Chill with some
Coronas.
Coronas, 86-inch TV in my living room.
We can watch Mania. We can live stream it, get some super chats. Eat some pizza rolls.
See, WWE totally messed up by having their watch along where Nigel McGuinness was dropping F-bombs. They totally messed. Nobody wants to see Pat McAfee. Nobody wants to see all these low-level guys on here. I want to see Roman Reigns, sponsored by Corona.
Yeah, man.
On the watch party.
Sitting there in flip-flops.
Bringing in guests.
Heck yeah.
Here's my boy Dean. He just got through with the match. Come sit here with me, Dean. And then they shoot the shit for a little bit. None of these rules about no cursing. Come on.
How's it going, Roman?
How's it going, Roman? Yeah. I'll take one of those beers. Dean to me is like a higher keyed, like his voice is a higher is a higher pitch than McMahon, but it's kind of the same thing. Hey, Roman.
Hey, Roman.
Hey, Roman. I'll take one of those Coronas.
Next, the Phoenix Saga.
That's an X-Men reference.
Yeah. Beth Phoenix offered to end her retirement and challenge the Boston Hug Connection for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, but the title picture isn't quite that cut and dry. Nia Jax and Tamina are still lurking around the edges, and the Iconics pin the champs on SmackDown Live, not to mention the match isn't even official yet. That was a run-on sentence. The Glamazon has obviously been putting in the work, and her big gambit might yet pay off, but with a long hiatus behind her and a crowded field in front of her, the WWE Hall of Famers return could just as easily flame out before it starts. See, that's a good sentence. First one was a runoff, but that was a good sentence.
Let me ask you something. My sister just texted me. She said she told me where to find the kilts for her wedding. She's getting married in Scotland.
Yeah.
Her husband to be is a Scottish fella.
Yeah.
You've met Will. He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Everybody's gonna be wearing kilts. All the guys are wearing kilts.
Oh, that's cool.
You know the thing about kilts, though.
You don't wear undies underneath, do you?
Right? Yay or nay on that one?
I mean, it's not. I kind of like the protection of knowing that things are contained.
What if a dog rolls up between my legs and just starts gnawing at my balls?
I mean, if you just fall over.
That's terrible.
What if you trip?
Right? What if one of those dudes comes up behind me and want to take the piss out of the American and shows, and it's like cold out there? Oh, God. What am I going to do?
Yeah, I'm
thinking of wearing like a giant Gonzalez-esque pair of like
that's a good idea.
Spandex, like, and then strap on like a big meaty.
Well, don't put a fake member on you. Just wear some flesh-colored, like a flesh-colored thong.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'll do that. But then draw like a dingus on it.
That's fine. Yeah, draw it on.
Oh, God. This is going to be a nightmare. The farewell tour continues. Like the headline says, Raw will play host to the next stop of Kurt Angle's last ride through the WWE Universe before he faces Baron Corbin at WrestleMania and hangs up his gold medals for good. The Olympic hero has not been shy about testing himself on the way out, tussling with uber-talented rising stars like Apollo Crews and Chad Gable, who took Angle to the limit on last week's show. Who will he select for his final foe in Boston?
Oh, I'm next. Family Affair. When Ronda Rousey said she was going to throw out the rule book in the final push to WrestleMania, she really meant it. 1 week after slugging an official, the baddest woman on the planet brought her husband, Travis Brown, to ringside, and he didn't hesitate to get involved in another scrum following Rousey's evisceration. Wow. Of Dana Brooke. How come he wasn't arrested? He was a fan. He laid his hands on security. He should be in the slammer
Doesn't make any sense, man. Lock him up.
Yep. In fact, both Rousey and Brown laid out a member of the security squad hired to prevent further incidents. Rousey's last infraction resulted in an undisclosed fine. Now that she's bringing civilians into the fray, there's no telling what repercussions await, if any.
One giant leap. Braun Strowman officially became the first entrant into the 6th Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal this past Monday, citing a general desire to beat up everyone he lays his eyes on, thanks to the foul mood brought on by his interactions with Colin Jost and Michael Che of Saturday Night Live. The Andre is, of course, open to any who are interested in participating.
That's where they just call it the Andre.
Boiling it down to the Andre?
Well, they call it armbar.
So it's possible that a few more superstars throw their hats in the ring this Monday. Then again, the idea of tussling with an angry Strowman might seem a little too risky for even the boldest of the Team Red talents. Speaking of Strowman.
It's been 1 week. Hoping to prevent a scene at the show of shows, WrestleMania host Alexa Bliss boldly inserted herself into the drama between Strowman, Jost, and Che, cashing in on her team Little Big Goodwill.
Comma.
Yeah, there's a period there. The goddess secured a 1 week armistice, that's a good word, between the Monster Among Men and the Weekend Update anchors, who will also be serving as WrestleMania's special guest correspondents. Strowman agreed to give Alexa the time to broker peace, but the clock strikes midnight on Monday, and Bliss will be hard-pressed to secure the desired results or simply hope for the best come April 7th.
It's kind of a messy preview.
It is. Don't miss any of the action on Monday Night Raw, live 8/7 Central on USA Network.
Yeah, it was kind of messy.
It was really long. It was a long preview.
I feel like they were inspired, but they weren't focused.
Yeah, there's some good sentences in there. It just needs a little more. It needs an editor.
Yeah, I agree.
Editorial guidance. Let's take some questions. Alto, anyone ever freak out when you tell them the name of your show? My last Uber rider got a kick out of it.
Yeah, Charlotte said it's terrible. She said that sounds terrible.
That sounds terrible.
She literally put that in we put that. She said it and we put it in the intro. I said it's called Going In Raw. I said that sounds terrible. She's the only one of the superstars. That's why I'm totally fine with her being in that main event, man. I don't care if she was just shoehorned in there.
Did the Miz chuckle?
Probably.
I thought he had a response.
I don't remember. I'm not willing to look back at those cringy ass interviews.
Yeah, I mean, if people get it, it could be a little weird.
The Undisputed Era totally did.
Oh, yeah.
They totally did.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had to excise a line from them because they said something that I then asked, are you sure that wants to be out there? Adam Cole said, yeah, cut that out. I was like, no problem. But they got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
They totally got a kick out of it. Oh, man. I had a little private moment with the Undisputed Era. Yeah, no, they totally got it. I think, I'm trying to remember if Cassius Ohno, I think Cassius Ohno did too. I think he had a chuckle. I think he had a chuckle at it.
Yeah. It's either if they get the reference, that people might chuckle, but if they get the reference and thinks it's funny, then it's okay. But if they get the reference and they're off-putted by it, then it's a little awkward.
Yeah.
Potentially. FDSM, hey guys, love catching you live. Have you ever done Going In Raw math for Ultimo Dragon? If not, can you? He was one of my faves. I don't know anything about his promos.
Okay, so I did a little bit of research, man, because I've been bugged by this John Cena thing.
Okay.
By one of you. So on the look issue, I need to come up with a better argument. I still think I'm right, but I need some more solid arguments for the look thing. Being good at this point cannot be disputed, that he's at least a 9. Do you know why?
Why?
I did a little bit of research on it. There is one man in the WWE who has more 4.5-star matches and plus than John Cena. That man is Shawn Michaels. After him, it's John Cena.
All right.
4.5. He's got 13.
All right.
4.5-star matches.
How many does Shawn Michaels have?
18.
All right. Okay.
John
You're
Cena
still completely wrong on look
being
though.
good
You're still completely wrong on look.
is at least a 9.
Ultimo Dragon. I don't know enough about his promos though.
I don't know anything about his promos.
I mean, he
either.
once like walked around with like 20 title belts.
I'll be honest. I don't know much about him besides his look is pretty cool.
His look's great,
And he's a great wrestler.
He's a great wrestler. Kayfabe's high because, like I said, he had that one title was actually like 20 titles.
Oh
You see
yeah.
that picture of him carrying like every belt imaginable.
Yeah.
We'll try. This is not ring. I mean, he was really good in the ring. Say 9. Look amazing. 9. Promo. I don't know promo.
I don't know promo either. 5. I mean, I guess can you give him an average of 5?
Yeah, well, let's do average. Legacy. I mean, he's a pretty influential light heavyweight wrestler.
I mean, you can give him like a 6 for Legacy, right?
At least a 7. He trained a lot of wrestlers too.
Okay, well, that's cool.
I think he trained training Okada.
Well, that's pretty good.
7. Kayfabe's got to be at least an 8. Say 8. This is completely.
Kayfabe's an 8.
Did you see him carrying all those titles?
Well, weren't those titles all because of like one match?
Yeah, it was one title, but one title encapsulating 15 titles.
Oh,
is
here
pretty
we
damn
go.
Impressive.
Shawn Michaels had 18 matches at 4.5 stars plus. John Cena had 15.
Who's next?
Triple H with 11. Undertaker with 10. Kurt Angle with 10. The Rock with 10. Roman
Really?
Reigns with 10.
The Rock's put on 10 4.5-star matches?
Or he's been involved in them.
Well, yeah.
Dean has 9.
See,
Steve Austin at 9. Gargano at 7.
I can think of one 4.5-star match Dean has had. Will only be 2 in his career.
And Bret Hart at 7.
See, that just really what you're saying there is us saying Bret's a 6+ wrestler is justified by those numbers.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
That's what I'm taking away from.
That's the big thing, yeah.
7+, high 7+ for Ultimo Dragon. Sammy Garcia, new Patreon member, 2 sweet friendos. Thank you, Sammy. Name Explain, finally caught a live stream. Keep up the work, friendos. Thank you, Name Explain. Charles Miller said, I stole my mom's credit card. Here's $5 more. Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
I lost my spot. Marcus B, y'all watch Letterkenny.
No, I've heard about it.
I don't even know
I've
what
just
that
heard
is.
that name.
Who's your favorite, if so? I've never heard of it.
I think it's something that I should watch because a lot of people talk about it. Apparently it's very funny, I think.
I have no idea what it is.
Cody Miles in the Discord says, so we're going from 1 2-time Hall of Famer to 4 in one night, and Owen still isn't in. It's his widow, man. It's his wife.
It's up to his wife.
Yeah, it's up to her.
Completely up to her.
When she says okay, he'll be in.
Yep.
But I suspect she's not going to do that.
Nope.
Oh, God. A.O. Worm wants to do going in raw math for Juice Robinson. This is not going to be.
He's a good promo.
It's not going to be kind. He's a promo.
In ring, he's all right. He's like 6.
Yeah, give him 6.
Look, it's probably like a 3.
Oh, wow. Really? That low for look? It's terrible, but he's doing something there.
Yeah. It's just too much.
You think it's too much?
It's unfocused. It's a little bit of everything.
Pretty harsh,
I
man.
can go 4, but I'd say a 3.
Okay, 3. No, go with what your heart tells you.
Promo, I mean, that's probably his top skill in terms of being good. At least a 7.
Really? You're going to give him a 7 for
He's
promo?
a really impassioned promo, man.
All of his promos just have to do with like how he doesn't want to go to WWE.
Yeah, but he does it really well. He cusses a lot, too. 7. Legacy.
There's
Not
no
much.
legacy there, dude.
2.
Wow, I'd give him a 3 for legacy.
All right. Kayfabe. He's the U.S. champion now.
But what does that mean?
I mean, it's like the lowest, well, not the lowest rung on the championship
It's
tier. It's above the never open weight title, maybe, but Will Ospreay has that belt
these
now.
days. Will Ospreay's hotter than Juice
All
Robinson.
right, let's say 3.
Yowza. This is not looking good for Juice.
3+, almost a 4. That's right now, though. That could change. Pyro Ed says, hello, Marks. Hi.
See, Sergio C, you disqualify yourself because you claim Cena wears Kmart shoes. Doesn't he wear like Jordans half the time?
Not anymore. He used to.
He used to.
He used to, but
he used
now-
to pump them up.
Well, those are Reebok pumps.
That's Reebok pumps.
But now, well,
those were the coolest shoes.
he used to have shoes that they sold on WWE Shop. And now he just wears like trainers.
I didn't know they sold shoes on WWE Shop. Really?
They did. And they don't anymore though. That's a good point.
Kmart shoes.
He
Get
wears,
out of here
well,
with
they're
that.
basically Kmart shoes. I think you could buy the ones, maybe the ones they sold at WWE Shop. You can get at Kmart too. But yeah, he used to wear like cool kicks, but not anymore.
I think his look is stellar.
It's
Stellar.
I guess you could say it's iconic, but it doesn't make it good.
See, the first part is objective. The second part is subjective, though.
Okay.
So that's why it's iconic. That matters.
But something can be iconic, but also can be iconic and be dreadful.
Name
Just because it's iconic doesn't mean it's great. It just means it's,
I kind of disagree with that.
you associate a look with a person.
Like, I wouldn't consider the Shockmaster's look iconic.
No, I wouldn't either.
It's dreadful.
It is.
Name somebody who has and I'm open to this. Name somebody who has a terrible look that's iconic.
Let me think about it.
I mean, would you consider Hogan's look iconic but terrible? I don't.
No, I don't. I just. It's iconic because it's a color scheme associated with a wrestler who managed to transcend the sport of wrestling. But I don't necessarily think him wearing yellow and red elevates his look at all.
Yeah, okay.
His look is him.
Yeah, right. Leathery skin, puffy face.
Yeah.
Bald.
Let me think about someone's look who is iconic but also not good.
Let's see here. Oh, wow. Cody Miles. WWE is running a charity auction. Please do this. It says, have Becky Lynch take over your Twitter account for a day.
Oh, wow.
Plus 2 tickets to a WWE live event. God, how do we get the money for that? Can we
that'd be
please
great.
do that?
Yeah, I want to do that.
Oh, man. It's at $500 right now.
That's not bad.
Can we put in 1,000? For her to take over our Twitter account for a day? She's the hottest thing in WWE right now.
We just don't have $1,000 lying around. Dalton
And I
Daniel.
don't think it's going to stop at 1,000.
No. How do you guys feel about Kurt Angle being a manager mentor for Chad Gable? Sorry, WWE's version of the Karate Kid, but with the wrestling kid.
Wait, what?
Have Angle be Chad Gable's manager and mentor.
Oh, I don't know, man. Kurt Angle, outside of a wrestling role, like as a GM, he was kind of inept. He was written to be kind of inept. I just say, like, let him go on his merry way. Let's see here. Big Money says, hey, friendos, I'll be at Raw tonight. Bringing a couple signs with me. Awesome. Very cool. Let's see here.
All right, Wrestle Dude's got a point. Wrestlers who have an iconic look, but it's not good. Mick Foley. In fact, you docked him for look because his look wasn't good.
I wouldn't consider his look. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess. I'm still not going to say that Cena should get docked for look, though. I think that his merchandise looks great.
Some of it does. A lot of it looks like is just like color vomit.
That dude looks like money. He looks money.
It's because largely, I think, because he carries himself like he's money.
Yeah, but that's part of look.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
But like his actual look, what he
What'd
wears.
you say his promo was?
Well, his promo's a 10. Yeah.
10. In ring.
I'll say
9.
I'll give you 9, but his looks
9.
nothing above a 7. Nothing above a 7.
Fine, even at a 7.
I didn't really.
Kayfabe,
I'd
10.
push 6.
Lol Cena wins 10.
Yeah, no, I won't argue that either.
Legacy, he's a easy Hall of Fame, Mount Rushmore. 10 Legacy. God, he's so good.
That must be what we had before because it's still 9 plus.
Oh man, 9 plus easy.
What if it's 6?
God, what a killer 9 plus. He's tops, man. I'm telling you, he's tops.
I don't
Tops.
know. I still feel like 7 is too high for look.
So now it's too high for look.
Eddie Smith, assuming Becky is slated to win the women's title at Mania, who do you see her following feud being against, and how would you book that superstar to be a legitimate threat as Ronda was? She still needs a real feud with Nia Jax. It'll probably be Nia after she wins that title.
So she's gonna be on Raw, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she's the Raw Women's champion, so it kind of works out that way.
Yeah, Nia's still like number one heel on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't like, Ronda. So yeah, that's gotta be next.
Undisputed, baby. Revival took a pic with AEW fan at WWE event. Is it a situation where this guy bought one of the VIP packages, so he was entitled to a picture?
Well, yeah. So he just wears an All Elite Wrestling shirt.
Kid Campbell, math on Legion of Doom, Road Warriors.
I would guess they're probably solid 7s. Right? I don't know. Get a piece of paper. Here.
I mean, because they're in ring work. I mean, they just went out there and just beat the hell out of people. It wasn't like they were technical masters by any stretch of the imagination.
Kayfabe, they're huge.
Yeah,
kayfabe and legacy is massive for them.
Yeah. Their look was great. Their promos were all right. Look, I'd say a 9. Promos, 5. They just screamed.
Yeah.
They have an iconic catchphrase. We'll bump that up to a 6.
Yeah. Rush.
In ring, 6 or 7.
I'll give him a 6. Although they do have that cool finisher.
Yeah. Legacy.
I mean, that's got to be 10 and 10.
Yeah, Legacy and Kayfabe. They were
10
like
and
basically
10.
unbeatable.
Yeah, they were. And they're like known as the top tag team ever.
So pretty much a 9.
Yeah, man. They're definitely a 9 tag team.
Hug Nice Man. Weird question. What female wrestler would work with an existing male wrestler's gimmick and vice versa? For example, Hug says Dana Brooke with Tyler Breeze's gimmick.
That's actually not a bad example.
I feel like you could swap Sasha's gimmick with somebody. The boss thing.
The boss thing? Well, Alberto had the boss thing. He was El Patron.
It's true.
Alberto the boss. So there you go. Put the boss character on the boss.
All right. Austin.
Tiempo por El Patron. That means it's boss time.
Boss time, yeah. Austin Luff, we wore kilts for my mom's wedding, and I'd wear them every day if it was socially accepted. Maybe they're just really comfy.
He wears kilt. Oh,
he wore
well,
a kilt
yeah.
for his mom's wedding.
That's cool.
Maybe the freedom is just exhilarating.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Nguyen says John Cena's WrestleMania entrance literally had over 30 people that looked just like him. Look is average.
Well, they just dressed them like him. I don't think they just showed up looking like that. And that's a terror. Is he back on the sauce? Is that Jeffrey Nguyen?
Yeah.
He's drunk.
Keenan McCarty, Juice 10 promo, 5 in ring, 5 kayfabe, in his opinion. He's not.
Juice a 10 promo?
He's not a 10
Keenan's
promo.
back on the sauce.
Dragon Reborn says Letter Kenny is amazing. And then Matt Knight says, if you became wrestlers, who would you fight?
If we both became
We'd
wrestlers.
probably just fight each other once
Who
and then
would
retire from in-ring competition.
Yeah, it'd be like a really bad match. It'd be a spectacularly terrible match.
Yeah, it would. Rest hold after rest hold.
God,
after
could
rest
you imagine
hold.
having to fight a dude like Cal Jack? Just getting thrown around? That'd be horrifying.
Yeah, man, that sounds painful.
That'd be terror. Like a Jeff Cobb, it'd be terrifying.
I know.
Anthony Mattis. Do you see any instance where the crowd might heavily boo to the point where they can't edit out the boos, or where the crowd gets super pissed that they might riot or something close to that?
Wait, go back up.
Well, they did that with Roman at the Raw after Mania.
Yeah.
They couldn't edit those boos out.
No.
They couldn't edit out. I don't know. I never watched that one on TV. I don't think the Raw after Mania.
No, I've never seen that.
With the FU Romans.
It's pretty loud.
That was pretty obnoxious.
Wrestle Dude says, give Ember's gimmick to Balor, then we get Moon Demon Balor.
That's cool. I like that one. That's good. Mitchell Daly. Who do you guys think is the most underappreciated worker of the Attitude Era? I think Val Venus is actually a very good wrestler, says Mitchell Daly. Having just watched WrestleMania 2000, the guy that sort of stood out to me that I sort of forgot about was Bull Buchanan. I'm kind of not joking. He had some good moves.
He did have some good moves. I thought you were going to say Taka.
Oh, no. I've always known he was good.
'Cause I remember when we were watching that. You're like, oh, man. Taka. Like you said something like, I always forgot how good Taka was or something like that.
No, my thing about Taka Michinoku was they didn't treat him back. Well, they kind of did. They didn't treat Taka back then like they would now with a guy with that kind of status.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was running his own promotion. I didn't know that he was like inventing his own Michinoku drivers. And then they brought him in and they kind of treated him with some respect, but then they very quickly pivoted to the whole comedy.
Yeah.
Kai and Tai group.
I don't know if he was underappreciated, but underutilized. I'm going to say Taz.
Oh my God, yeah. But that was the frustrating thing, is that we always knew. We knew. But yeah, he was totally underutilized.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm still on the Twitter. Samuel Bronkowitz. Any chance that the women will pull out all the stops, kendo sticks, chairs, etc., during the main event, and will they get time to do it? It's going to be one of the best matches on the card. I firmly believe that. I think they're going to
be given every opportunity to show what they can do.
Yeah.
Every opportunity.
Let's see here. President 97. There's no way Kofi loses at Mania, and Becky has to win now that it's the main event. Does Seth now seem like a foregone conclusion to lose? I want Seth to beat Brock, but I don't see all three challengers being successful. I don't know, man. I got to write down all those matches.
Yeah, there's a lot of matches to get through.
And then figure out how many of those other subtitle matches, how many of those, like Finn can probably lose, but I don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, I don't want to see that happen either.
I think they might kick Seth Brock that title change to Saudi Arabia.
Entirely possible.
Because people are not going to want to do Saudi Arabia, so they're going to need a big, big moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Roman's not there, if Cena's not there, if Daniel Bryan isn't there.
Yeah. I mean, Seth doesn't want to go, so they're going to not put the belt on him in advance of it. Wait till after it.
That's a good point, too.
I'd be interested to see, like, how talent influences the booking of that show based on how many people do or are willing to go versus who absolutely do not, and how that affects what might happen at Mania.
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
Let's see here.
Charles Miller says Cena should have been an 8 for in-ring. Mr. Michael Law 2011.
He's got next to Shawn Michaels. He's the best in-ring performer according to Dave Meltzer star ratings, which I know.
He also gave Dean 9 4.5 plus.
Yeah, I wonder how many of those were the Shield though.
Mr. Michael Law says, "Can you imagine a woman with the demon paint with Finn? That'd be cool."
Jason Lewis, if HBK is Mr. WrestleMania, is Triple H the anti-Mr. WrestleMania? He seems to have as many duds as Shawn has gems. If not Hunter, then who is the anti-Mr. WrestleMania?
Hulk Hogan. Like everyone has made matches with garbage.
Hogan versus Sid. Hogan versus...
Maybe the only one you could say was decent was Hogan Warrior.
Was Hogan... I don't know if I've ever seen Hogan Macho Man.
It starts out as a decent Macho Man match, but halfway through it pivots to an awful Hogan match.
Okay. All right.
His match against Slaughter wasn't very good.
The Andre one was iconic, but...
not good.
Not a good match.
His match against King Kong Bundy in the cage wasn't very good.
Yeah, okay. Wow, confirmed Hogan, Mr. Anti-WrestleMania.
Triple H has just been on like 22 of them. He's been 20 or 14. No, 22 Manias, I think.
Gee whiz.
He's had a match on 22
this is my
Manias.
favorite question. We'll close with this one because this is great. I really wish they'd bring both these things back. The Wrestle Dude in WWE 2K20. Which would you rather see return? If the 2K people came to us, the very nice people at 2K said, Steven Larson.
Yes.
You guys get to... Actually, no, just screw this. Larson.
Yeah.
You decide. We can either spend months and months doing custom creative stories, or we can have a referee. You can guest as the referee. You get to play referee. What would you rather do?
Oh, give me stories. Because I would use that all the time as opposed to special guest refs, which I'd use on occasion, but not all the time.
If they kept things as they are, you've gotten especially very good at utilizing the machinima tools that they have to offer for creative stories. I don't think we need that. Special guest ref would be so much fun. That would be so much. Remember how much fun, how angry you, me, and Jeff used to get when we'd each special guest ref each other?
Yeah, I want to relive those days.
Oh, man, I do. That was so much fun.
Wayne Maker has a good point. A point I've been trying to make for a while. Hulk Hogan was a heel, pushes a baby face hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
I really want to do some research and actually devise a quality thesis saying Hogan was always a heel.
He was always a bad guy.
I have. There's.
He didn't represent the best of America.
No.
He represented the worst of America. That's why he was cheered so hardcore.
He's always.
People don't want to look in the mirror, Larson.
Yep. They don't want to reflect.
Say your prayers.
No, because he is always bullying the ref. Always bullying the ref.
I pray to the gods of science.
Yeah, there you go. He's always putting his thumb in.
Do you think he'd be eyes. Back then? He'd be like, "Don't get your kids vaccinated."
Oh, I don't know. No one's
here. Yay! Oh man, I love this one. Stevie Bradley has this. This is great. Instead of Connect 4, Connect Port. This whole network is effed, man.
Oh man.
Oh, that's good stuff. Anyways, $1 and up patrons, we've got a bonus episode coming up just for you.
Yes.
We're going to shoot it live in about 10 minutes. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on that on your notifications over there on the Patreon. If you're listening to this in the audio form, please leave us a rating, review, or a comment. It really does help the show.
It does.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and
Smash
the
it.
notify bell.
Just
smash that like
just
button too.
Smash it an odd number of times so the last smash is a like or a sub.
Exactly. That's great too. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post-show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.